I think it was important for Sandy to start the Woodworking Museum because he really believed in the hand tools and having a collection. And having a collection of national historical significance was really important to preserve our past. Sandy MacLachlan is the founder of the MacLachlan Woodworking Museum. He actually approached the government, I believe, for a 1967 centennial project, and he found this log house and he wanted to set this up as his museum. So what he did is that he sent in the grant, got approval, and he moved this log house all the way down into Princess Street in Kingston on the MacLachlan lumber yards, and they set this up as the museum itself. So it was chock-a-block filled with his woodworking tools, and it really highlighted Sandy's love of collecting. The room that you were in previously was actually the log house built in 1853, and now we're coming into the exhibit building, which is where we house our collection and where we have our exhibits. So the room you're looking at right now is actually the cabinet maker's workshop. So you'll see a variety of different tools that would have been found in a cabinet maker's workshop in the late 1800s. There are some anomalies here, but we put it here to get the feel. I tend to think of this room more as a room of memories. Most people walk in here and they see something that either they themselves owned or their father or their grandfather, and it brings forth a lot of stories and associations in their own recollections of these tools. So behind me is the wall of axes. This exhibit here is dedicated to blacksmithing. We do blacksmithing on site. We have special demonstration days in which we highlight our forge, which is in front of our museum. And in it, you'll find a very unusual forge. It's actually a cement table set up to imitate the forges of the past. And what we have is that we offer or invite the public to come on down and to participate and to ask questions and to learn all about blacksmithing, which was an integral part to tool making. In this exhibit, this is called Just Plain Wonderful, we highlight the planes, the hand planes, in our collection. I usually direct people to this panel first because it kind of gives them an overview of what is a hand plane. And actually in the bottom case here, what you're going to find are examples of 3 different hand planes. So you have your smoothing plane, which obviously made a flat blade and it smoothed the piece of wood. The next is the grooving plane, and that provided a groove down the middle of the wood. And the last is the molded plane, and that is our specialty. We have that's where most of our planes are molded planes. And your next question might be, what is a molded plane? So I'm going to show you one. I just need to put on my gloves for conservation purposes.
Why do you put the gloves on?
This is so we don't transfer any oils and we don't harm the artifact. So what we've got here is a molded plane, and as you can see, the plane has a molded profile. So this wood would not come out flat, it would come out with a slight curve. And molded wood is probably found throughout your house. It was found out definitely throughout houses of the past. So you would find it around the door frames, you would find crown molding, you'd find base molding, you'd find it around your window ways, everything like that. Today we have a very different attitude towards molding. You tend to buy one piece that's been, pressed by some machine and that you add it and it decorates your home. But in the past it was all done by hand, by some individual, and was using various planes like this. So right now we're in the room dedicated to lumbering and logging of the 19th century. And behind me here is an exhibit that is dedicated to basically the movement of the logs down the river. So obviously the people would go out to the logging camps. They would cut down the trees in the winter season. They would use the snow to help move the, after they took off all the branches, and use the snow to guide the logs over to the edge of the river. They would wait until spring before they would push the logs into the river and have them float down. The waterways were really the highways of the past, and that's exactly what they were utilizing to the best of their ability. Here we have different tools that you would use to move the logs and to hoist them into the river or to hoist them out of the river. We do have one area here in which we have tagging, because often logging company would tag its wood at the end, and so it would be a stamp that they would use with a hammer, and that it would stamp at the very end of the wood. And actually you'll see a stamp like that when you're looking at our new crosscut floor. In our entranceway, right in the very middle, you'll see in large letters AGM, and that is dedicated to Alexander Grant MacLachlan, the founder of this museum. And we wanted to tag the wood, albeit a bit bigger than it normally would have been, but to dedicate the floor to him and to his memory, because he's the one who founded the MacLachlan Woodworking Museum, which is where we are right now. So throughout the summer months, we actually offer a lot of different programs for the family. We also provide the demonstration days, and of course, sheepdog trials are out here at Grass Creek. It's always a fun time to come out and see the museum and experience what we have on site. We are open from Victoria Day to Labor Day on a daily basis from 10 to 5, and it'd be wonderful if you could come and join us and learn all about woodworking.